state-of-the-art. Could you go ahead and tell us your full name and your job title and the company you work with?
My name's Nicole Gelpi. I work for Yellow Mountain Stoneworks, the owner and marketing director for the company. I guess that's about it, right?
Yeah, how'd you ever get in this business?
How did I get into this business? Purely by accident. I was, 6 years ago, I was the business manager for a company called Silver Fox Productions in Seattle. And I left that company primarily because it was time to move on. And met my business partners, Eric Nelson and John Williams, who had just finished building the Portland Chinese Garden. And were looking for someone to help them with marketing. It was a very small company at the time. They had just gotten started, and we met probably 3 or 4 times. And I agreed to work for them for 6 months, setting up a marketing program, and here I am.
And what exactly does the company do? What kind of stuff do you do?
We supply natural stone for landscape and architectural projects, interior designers, pretty much anybody that's interested in using stone. It's a wholesale business. We do not stock any material per se. It's all produced per the job. All of our products, with the exception of some of our travertines, are from China, mainland China, and we work with probably 15 to 20 different vendors all over the country there.
So are you mostly, you're wholesale or dealing with like contractors and stuff, or who do you sell to?
We actually, the person that actually buys the product is probably the person we work with the least. They're the installer on the other end of the project. But we'll work for sometimes a year to 3 years in the sales cycle, just getting the job in the first place. Most of the projects are initially conceived by an architect or a landscape architect or an interior designer, and we'll move through the course of the project, hopefully as early on as possible, helping them select the materials, design the aesthetic, and sort of quantify the stone. We have projects all over the country. We have them here in the Northwest, in California, a lot of projects in Washington, D.C. right now, Canada, the South, Texas, just pretty much anywhere you want to work.
So people like stone again.
I'm thinking they do like stone again. There's a really quite a new revival going on. The turn of the century was probably the last time stone was being used as a building material. If you go downtown Seattle, you can see a lot of evidence of that in Pioneer Square. But we're trying to get people excited about it and use it. It's used more than, the Chinese actually use stone more than anybody on the planet. So the Port of Xiamen has pretty much every kind of stone you could ever imagine. And we're leveraging that to sell to our clients as well, not only our own products, but products available there for consumption, and then using the benefit of our fabricators locally there to do the work. So yeah, stone is coming back. Stone's actually a very green material. We're working very hard to illustrate that on our website in terms of what the carbon footprint is to get it from China to your job site. So believe me, you'll be using stone more.
Yeah, I was involved in real estate for about 20 years down in Central Oregon. A lot of the homes there have stone entryways and things like that, are using stone for the kitchens and bathrooms. And it's just it's really something, it adds a lot of sort of a perceived quality to something we see stone.
Yeah, it's a very nice product, very natural, very human, very scalable. So we're pretty excited about it, actually.
Now, how'd you ever get involved with Andrea?
Andrea and I worked together in that company I mentioned that I left. I hired her, years ago. We had Microsoft as a major client back then as well, and she was a subcontractor of ours. She worked with us. She's probably one of our best contractors. So we worked together probably, could be 10 years ago, and then we've stayed in touch ever since.
What's some of her strengths, you think? What's in her team? Why do you keep going back to her?
I thought a lot about that in preparing for this interview, and not only is she an excellent designer, but I have to say she shares one of the same convictions that we do at Yellow Mountain Stoneworks, and that is just a sense of urgency about how you service your clients, and the relationship that you develop with your clients. In some ways, that's more important than the actual end product. She's a very strong designer, and her team that she has built over the years is clearly consistent in that area. They work very hard to keep you on track as a customer and produce the best possible product. I mean, I think that's premium, particularly now in this economy. I think you have to be very inventive and integrate a lot of assets into your service that aren't purely doing, for example, good design work. And I think she understands that very well. I think Microsoft has probably helped train her in that direction as it did me. But leveraging that across all your clients is, I think, going to make it a very successful business.
What type of projects do you think, or have you used her for, and do you have any examples of things that went well?
Well, she's worked on a number of things. She worked on an original brochure when we didn't really have a company. A lot of bells and whistles and etherware, and she did a beautiful job on that, designing sort of a square format that we sort of carried across all of our collateral, which was initiated with these stone cubes that I showed you earlier on. And currently, she's just finished designing our website, which I think is perfect. We want to have all of our business occur in the context of that site. So over the next 6 months, she's going to help us sort of refine that. What you can see up on the web is basically the finished piece, and now we're working on the back end to make it a site that I can edit on the fly, which I think is going to be very valuable to us. That's what she's done. She did some work for us last year around an event that we produced out at Magnuson Field. So, I just continue to use her for whatever I need. We've done some sales presentations, and she's just very responsive, very proactive.
Can you talk about that and how it's important to have somebody you can talk to, or does she follow up what she's supposed to, be bendable?
Mm-hmm. Typically, she'll assign me to a project manager or designer. In the case of this project with the website, it was a guy named Michael, who was great. And I think the value of her services is they always have a very comprehensive view of what the product is that you're trying to create, and they're very good at managing you back to getting things done. They don't wait for you to manage the project, and I think that's very valuable. And they see sort of the full picture. They anticipate. They're very timely. They respond and communicate really well. Very thorough. And you just feel very comfortable knowing that they will make sure, regardless of whether you're tardy in getting things done, that it'll get done on time. So
there's a special relationship between them and you in a way. You build a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a relationship that I feel very good about. And the other thing is that it's likely, it doesn't really matter who I speak to over there. They're all very consistent in presenting the same treatment to their clients. I think that's important. Some companies, it's kind of an irregular experience, but she seems to have done that very well.
And do you feel confident referring people to her, and,
mm-hmm.
and why?
I do. She would be probably the first person I'd recommend in terms of what she's capable of. Plus, she's referred us to a lot of other resources. The gentleman that's doing the back end of our website is not one of her people, but the referral was an excellent one. So, I mean, when you refer someone, you also have to be pretty clear that it's going to work and complement what you've already established with the customer. So, that's worked out well.
She seems like pretty enthusiastic.
She's very enthusiastic. She's got a great sense of humor, and she's a real human being. And that just carries across with the people that she hires as well. So I think it's consistency is really important with clients, that you still get the same message regardless of who you're dealing with.